What is going on, everybody? So I'm back today to talk about a film that was released quite a while ago, but the reason why I'm discussing it, my friend Ray and I do a podcast called the Film Monsters Podcast, and our most recent segment of episodes has been discussing different directors. In our very first director episode, we talked about John Carpenter, and I was going through his filmography, and I realized that I had not seen as many of John Carpenter's movies as I thought I had. I'd seen around 7 of the almost 20 films that he's made. So I wanted to go and visit some of his other movies, and I decided to watch this one because Criterion was promoting this on their channel through the month of October and into November. Before it left the channel, I wanted to watch it because it was one of his films that I had not seen, and the movie I'm going to be discussing today is Prince of Darkness. Prince of Darkness is directed by John Carpenter. A research team finds a mysterious cylinder in a deserted church. If opened, it could mean the end of the world. So I honestly didn't really know what I was going to get into with this movie because with John Carpenter, you never really know. His films are kind of all over the place. He sticks normally to horror, that's his hallmark, but he typically, within the horror genre, does all different things. He does a lot of great horror comedies, he has a lot of really great, just straightforward horror films, and this is a little bit later in his career. I think going towards the 90s, I think this was put out in like 87. This film feels like a culmination of some other works earlier in his film, especially The Thing. You can feel a lot of that coming through in this film, and I enjoyed this movie for the most part. I think of the films I've watched of Carpenter's catalog, it's one of the ones I would put in the weaker spots. Not to say that it's a bad movie, I just don't think it's as executed as well as it could be. So the first part of this film, you're introduced to this college professor and this priest. The college professor, played by Victor Wong, who shows up in multiple of Carpenter's films, and also Donald Pleasence is the priest. The professor is hosting these college classes, and he ends up getting the best of the best and the brightest kids in his college class to come together to essentially try to figure out what is going on with this giant cylinder that they found that they believe could be harnessing the power of the devil or holding the devil himself inside of this cylinder. And so you get all these college kids in there, and that's the cast of your characters. And at the beginning of the film, you see all of these homeless people acting really strange. One in particular played by Alice Cooper, which I thought was really entertaining. But they're all acting really weird. They're out surrounding this building, and one of the students ends up getting near the cylinder and affected by the liquid, which essentially possesses them, and they start attacking other students, and they start getting possessed one by one. So essentially you have that similar motif to The Thing, where it's like, who is possessed, who isn't possessed. They're trying to guess who this is and who you're safe from, while trying to uncover this mystery that you as the viewer really are never going to be able to uncover. It's more of just okay, when is the big reveal going to happen that this evil presence is going to escape? And when is everyone going to get overthrown? And what I feel makes this film a little less impactful than some of the other Carpenter films in his catalog is the characters in this movie aren't all that interesting. The young kids that are in the college class are all sort of throwaway characters. None of them are really all that interesting. There's a couple of moments that I felt attached to them, but compared to you look at The Thing, The Fog, Halloween, all of the Carpenter pinnacle films, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live, there's so many characters that you can attach yourself onto and really sort of follow these stories. These are all just characters that exist to get the plot from point A to point B. And even when you look at someone like Victor Wong or Donald Pleasence, who are incredible actors that really give their all to their performances, they're really not utilized all to the best of their ability in this film. I do think this movie, similar to all of Carpenter's films, has amazing atmosphere. The score from Carpenter himself is really fantastic, and it really kind of sets you along on this journey and makes you stay engaged because of that atmosphere that Carpenter is known for creating. And I loved that about this movie. I think it does have really amazing atmosphere. The problem is, for an hour and 40-minute film, I felt like I kept getting pulled out because it wasn't as impactful or interesting as some of his other work, which is really upsetting. And obviously, I know there's the complaint that later on in Carpenter's career that his films were not as impactful or interesting, and that's unfortunate because I think Carpenter is a wonderful human being who has created some of the best films in all of history, but this one just sort of falls middle of the road for me. I think it is worth visiting if you're going to watch all of Carpenter's filmography, just to see at this point in his career where he would go to and the types of films that he would make. But I don't think it's anything super special comparatively to the other films I've seen in his catalog that I really love. So have you seen Prince of Darkness? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was okay. It's not anything super spectacular. It's really just run-of-the-mill for Carpenter. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.